back to that Man Ray's photograph of his friend Kiki, incorporating the F holes onto her back. What does that do? What is this two symbol? What can these two symbols, this one symbol, impressed on the back of the prostitute, right, of Kiki, can do, can change, or can subvert to? This artwork, this photograph, Man Ray gave it the title Ingress Violin. Right? Ingress was a classical painter who's known for this painting, the La Grande Odalisque, the Grand Prostitute, and portray this her body much elongated to serve a certain standard, right? That was prevalent during the resurgence of the classical period, right? Since Renaissance, so it's bringing back, right? Ingress, Jean-Auguste Dominique Ingress is bringing back the Renaissance standard and call those the highest standard, and try to reach these standards on every front, right? And that's how he gets this painting. That's how he gets famous. And Man Ray is obviously subverting to Ingress because it's using a photograph to make fun of Ingress. In this one, and in this case, it's trying to. And Ingress was known to be very much into violin, very much into music, and Man Ray is connecting these two together. What's supposed to be pretty irrelevant, right? That the artist, he likes music, it's okay, and he paints this subject, but he's trying to incorporate like the key words about Ingress, right? The key words about this artist might be music, violin, painting, nude, classical, things like that. And he's kind of like juxtaposing or mixing all these keywords all together into one into one image, into one, or maybe rather a imagery, and use photograph, right, through the development of the film to ink the two symbols onto her back, and use photograph to represent that cluster of keywords. This is, in other words, this is more of a feeling of a object, or this is more of a objectifying a feeling about the female nude, right? This is a objectified. This is a photograph that tries to objectify a human nude as a way to subvert or defy the previous standards, however high these standards are, the previous artistic standard. You see here the function of photograph. It's not just it's gone beyond documenting, recording the naturalistic world, doing portraits, as a way to keep records. Has gone beyond that level, has gone into the more surreal part of it. It can proactively engage in all kinds of visual discourse. It can use as a manifesto. It can be used as something that proclaims a certain point of view, that defies a certain point of view. And that's a new function, that's new potential, some kind of potential that Man Ray and his cohort were able to explore or to realize. And Man Ray was the admirer of Ingres, and that's why he made this series of photographs and poke fun or explore or even or even incorporate Ingres artworks, Ingres description of nude. So defying classical nude, defying subverting to traditional conventional standards, because in surrealism, right, we are trying to focus on the unconsciousness, and unconsciousness is more dreamlike, right? So what are the Hebrew words? What are some of the notions that Man Ray is trying to bring out? Is trying to cater or push forward. It's defying, right? A sense of defying the established standard, the established conception of things, and get into a more surreal, get into a more unconscious state of cognition, of getting to know the world, because that seems to be more reliable, right? You see, all the philosophers, all the scientists, they try to be objective. They try to develop all these intellectual works, but we still have wars, right? The war destroyed everything, demolished everything. So surrealism, so that's why surrealists, right? They try to push forward the idea that intellectual should step back, and it's let the unconsciousness to take control of the world, and you might get a more solid and tangible understanding or grip of your life, of the world, of our society, of our community, of our future. For example, we have the cadeau, Man Ray call a gift. Why is it a gift? Why is it? Well, this is not a photograph, but he's taken a photograph of it. And so Man Ray is not only a photographer, right? So he's a modernist artist who's trying to who's worked with different mediums to present his point of view and to participate in the surrealism. So this is iron, as we all. This is a flat iron, as we all know. But this is not really a flat iron, because the function of it, right, is to heat it up and iron the clothes and all the stuff. But if we put the nails on it, we put the tags on it, then the function, the regular, the tradition, the conventional function of this flat iron is diminished, right? It's taken away. If you put the tags on it, it becomes something that's purely decorative, if not purely scary, because it looks a bit eerie, but it's through this kind of manipulation of a flat iron to make something that's functional to defunction an object, a day-to-day object. Man Ray is trying to remind people to not think objectively, to take a different point of view, to feel the world, to look at, take a different point of view, to look at your day-to-day object, to look at the object, the items all around you. And that's what surrealism is trying to get to. And another thing that Man Ray is trying to advocate is this market. Is trying to criticize rather is about this market after the Industrial Revolution. Things becomes mass produced, and the market and the market becomes to be all of a sudden has become so powerful that that consumers can only buy and buy because things are mass produced, and they kind of lost their own aura. They kind of lost their own individualism. So the flat iron, tags combined together looks eerie, but note too that these two are things that you can buy from the market. The flat iron or the tags, these are the things that you can buy from the market. And Man Ray is trying to again use day-to-day objects to combine all of them together to shock you, to remind you that your world, however objective you hope it to be, you want it to be, is constructed, and it's not constructed completely by you. It's constructed by the society, by the industry, by the market, by the capitalists. The flat iron, making this comment, a visual way to make comments to this world, to criticize on the world. Some other examples I want to show you here, but I would skip them so you can kind of get a sense of what Man Ray is trying to get to. He's used Kiki, the model, a lot to take those photographs. Fashion experiment, to kind of use something, right? To create something that speaks to the fashion, to the modern, to the now, to his contemporaries, instead of holding on to maybe dated standards, traditional standards. And this is another during the Surrealism very famous photograph manipulated or created by Dora Maar, a creature, a monster, right, with this angular head, elephantine ears, curved arms, or this monstrous character. Moving on, we have I want to introduce you and during this time another interesting kind of creating images, that is photo montage or collage. These two words a lot of the time used interchangeably. Montage is the technique is producing a new composite whole from fragments of pictures, text, cut off or music, cut off of everywhere, and piece all them together onto maybe one poster or one picture, one paper. And then collage is a piece of artwork made by sticking various different materials such as photographs and pieces of paper, fabric onto a backing. So let me give you some kind of example. For example, Pablo Picasso participated in this kind of collage of things, right? Cubism. He's trying to collage, how to piece together different things that, again, don't usually believe to belong together, and put them all together to construct something that's sometimes eerie, but to project a new thinking. In this case, as he titles it, the guitar and wine glass. To give you for example, this is a sketch of the guitar, the notes, right, and the wine glass right here, some kind of reflection to leave you enough imagination, right? Again, just like the Man Ray's, Picasso here is trying to capture all the keywords, all the salient characteristics that maybe different objects might have, and try to put them together that can represent, right? Not just not just depicting the nature, not just depicting how a guitar or a wine glass look, but to try to deliver to you how they feel. That's much harder because how they feel is beyond seeing. The expression of that is beyond just looking at it and describe, right? So Picasso is trying to let you feel the object, the guitar and the wine and the ambience and for example, the background that he uses was again intentional to give you what kind of feeling. Think about it. A guitar and a wine, you're thinking of party, orchestra, musical, higher class, lower class, right? That's what Picasso is trying to lead you into thinking. That's the kind of realm, right? Sometimes if you you look at it for maybe 2 minutes and close your eyes and kind of imagine wine and glass, what kind of environment I can create through that setup, and then fall into your dream maybe and get into your unconscious states, and maybe and what you might remember from that dream might be something like this, right? Picasso and again his cohorts is trying to tackle and trying to probe into that mysterious state of our cognition. Of course, we have Hannah Hock from Germany. The name is really long. The title that she gave to this photo montage was really long. And also this photo montage, you might already noticed. It's highly, highly political. It's diffused with political critiques of the 1920s. There are soldiers, political figures, and all. And Dadaism, right? Anti-Dada. So there are even words on it, which is from cut-offs from magazines at the time. So this is a kind of intensified cluster of magazines of all kinds of medium, images, cut-offs from magazines and other places. Yeah, a lot of people might say, oh, I could do that. So yeah, you might want to give it a try to see if you can create that kind of a politically intense environment through a painting. In the title, please allow me to say it to you: cut with the kitchen knife, Dada, through the last Weimar beer belly cultural epoch of Germany. It's a social political scene of Germany that Hannah Hock is trying to cater to us. Hannah Hock. And then during this time, among these many isms, there's also futurism. And of course, a lot of these isms, they were actually influenced or initiated, awakened, or by the First World War. So futurism is being one of that typical example. Why do they call it futurism? Because futurists believe war is a good thing, right? War is inevitable, and it brings us to the future because it destroyed the old and calls for, right? After the war, you're going to rebuild things. You're going to build things new. So calls for a new society. It's the breaking down or the demolishing the old building, the old war, the old world that we, all the citizens, were able to come up of a new world. And that's why futurism is trying to show things that's honored in war. For example, iron, the material that's used in war, the metal, all kinds of metal, fast car, the speed it's trying to honor. For example, this is the nude descending the staircase. It's trying to capture a nude as she is descending on the stairs, trying to capture that continuous movement going down. Right? He's trying to, again, define. Futurism is trying to defy that the history that we have. History is bad. Let's forget about the history and build something new. The past, let the bygone be bygone and build something new in this early 20th century. We have another example that would be Boccioni's unique form of continuity in space. See if you can. This is just a flat two-dimensional image, so it doesn't give you that, show you that sense so much. Because usually, if you can walk around it, I think this piece is in the in the LACMA museum. If you walk around this piece, continuously walk around this piece, you will get a sense that this figure is in a state of running, pushing forward. So it's the speed, this kind of speed that Futurism is trying to honor. So, this lecture was trying to kind of briefly introduce you all kinds of isms after the World War I and how photography could potentially participate in this era, in this exciting era, that in which many different isms is trying to defy the old, create the new, to critique the present, and engage in the politics, in the society, to imagine all together.